All right, what is up, everybody? Rethink Reality. We are back at it again with another fantasy podcast because you guys seem to like that, and we seem to like doing it. So we're gonna do what pleases you.
Yeah, we're big pleasers around here, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
we're big Sims, huh?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
boy.
baby.
Yeah, but all right, this video we're gonna so there's ins and outs to every league, right?
Exactly.
There's certain things you can do that maybe other people don't know that you can
Mm-hmm.
potentially harness and win your league.
For good.
Yeah, a little salt bay action. That 1 point could be the difference between whether or not you're first or second place going into playoffs, or whether or
Yeah.
not you make the playoffs or not. So it's very important. It's not all about wide receivers. It's not all about quarterbacks. It's not all about tight ends. Sometimes you got to look at the defense,
Yeah.
and that's what we're going to talk about this
Yeah.
episode. How do you go about picking a defense? Because on paper, it looks like the 49ers are just going to walk over everybody.
Yeah. I
So what do
mean,
you do?
the best fantasy players do not have teams like the 49ers, at least in my opinion. In my opinion, they're not. I think the best fantasy players gobble up all the position players and they stream. They stream the defense. And if you don't know what streaming the defense is, I'll teach you. Streaming the defense is basically each week on waiver wire, there will be a release of defenses available. You will need to select one of those defenses that are streamed that week in order to place on your roster and then later use into the game or the next game, whatever you want to use it. But most time you're streaming at least for 1 to 2 weeks for that defense. You're just renting it, You're doing like a little rental and then you're sending it. If you have a league where you're using Fab, which is free agent budget, and you're putting this out, this where it can get a little bit more tricky because you're spending your budget up a little bit on it. So with situations where there is fab leagues, you might want to have a certain kind of defense that might be kind of stout and then maybe stream like every once in a while. But if you're in a league where like me and Scatty are, well, we're in leagues where it's just waiver wire. It's just per order. So whoever you put in is who you're going to get, well, based upon the order. So it doesn't matter how much budget we spend on whatever. So yeah, to break down into the actual defenses, though, I'll give kind of my tactics, and then Scotty, you can kind of give some commentary, and then also too give your own tactics for how you go about defense, because we might have two other opinions. We didn't talk about this for the pod, so we're letting it all raw dog
This
out.
is wrong,
So
baby. There's no shirt.
yeah, yeah. So my strategy this year for streaming defenses, I am looking for people like this: Indianapolis Colts, the Texans, the Cardinals, the Rams. Any of these kind of bottom barrel teams that are in the league this year, I am trying to scoop up defenses that are playing against them that week. And even teams like possibly like Carolina, possibly. And I am talking a lot of these new rookie QBs, but I'm looking at people like that. I'm looking at people with bad offensive lines. I'm looking for situations where there can be turnovers, where there can be takeaways, and there can be also, too, there can be sacks. There's ways for defenses to score because a defense as a streamer is not going to really score points by just holding them to not that many points. Like for instance, even if like they hold them to like 0 or like just maybe like 7, you're still not really getting crazy amount of points. You're getting more points when you're getting the crazy amount of turnovers. And like for instance, Philly was a great example of that last year. They were a team that was, I mean, they were good defense, but they got a lot of turnovers. That's what got them to where they were at. So when I'm trying to stream these defenses, I'm trying to figure out, okay, who in the league loves to turn it over? Dak Prescott. Okay, sorry. Who in the league loves to turn the ball over? C.J. Stroud's probably going to be turning the ball over. I saw that preseason. Anthony Richardson's probably going to be doing that thing. And I said Rams, okay, Matthew Stafford is good, but look at their offensive line, bro. This thing, I think me and Scotty could walk through that shit. I think we could. So you look at all these teams and you're trying to figure out where are these turnovers going to come from? Who are these players? Where am I going to get these possible points? Where's that pick six? Where is it going to come from? Don't get me wrong. You're going to get it from teams like the 49ers because, I mean, they have these crazy lines and all that, and they're going to create turnovers. But if you want to save on some actually position players and then stream each week, it's very possible. But if you do it, you got to target these bottom barrel teams.
Yeah, so I would look at to help out with that. I would look at like if you're into sports betting at all, which I'm assuming if you're playing fantasy, you know a little bit about sports betting, is to look at each conference odds for the NFL this year. So like
Yeah.
whoever's finished or whoever's projected to finish last in every conference, I would just look at teams each week that they play. So that's at
Yeah.
least 8 teams you have to choose from that are playing those teams. And I guarantee you can probably get one of those 8 teams because there's only 12 10 to 12 people in your league. And I would also too. I know it really depends on waiver order. Like if you're constantly winning, you're going to get last pick on the waiver wire. But I would just look at maybe a week or two in advance, probably 2 weeks in advance, just so you can have an idea of who you're targeting the week after this one. So like we're about to go into week 1. I would look at week 2 and see who my players are or who my defenses are that I need. So like who are the Texans playing next week? Who are the like I don't know if you want the Bears, but maybe like the Packers. Who are the Packers playing? Who are the lower level NFL teams? Who are they playing? Maybe 2 weeks in advance. That's what I would do. But yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. Stream that defense.
Yeah, and the only people I am picking up is I would possibly pick up a 49ers, possibly. It depends on the league. If it's like a 10 or an 8-man league, then streaming sometimes doesn't always as make sense because the position it's you really are trying to get the top people. But as just weeks, like for instance us, we do a 12-man league. If you're getting the 12, the 14s, the 16s, streaming sometimes I think it kind of helps a little bit more. Another thing I would say, the only defense I have been picking up in leagues, if I'm not going to stream this year, has been the New Orleans Saints. And that is for the main reason I tried to figure out, okay, who has the absolute worst conference this year? And it's the Saints. I mean, look at the Saints, Carolina, Falcons, the Buccaneers. I mean, this is atrocious. I mean, there is some bad divisions, but this one's really bad. And then when you look at strength of schedule, it's even showing too. Strength of schedule, the Saints have one of the easiest schedules. And it's just, but the majority of it is all the games are getting within their own division. I mean, a lot of them are either rookie QBs or people who are struggled or teams are trying to find their identity or taking the Tom Brady tax. So you got to kind of figure out these things. And for me as a drafter, I personally went with the Saints. If I don't get the Saints, then I just stream defense. And like, for instance, our draft, I was telling Skadger before, I picked up the Baltimore Ravens in the very last round. And the reason why I did that is because, well, this week they're playing Houston. They're projected like 8 point something in a PPR league. So having that in that last point of the draft, picking it up when obviously Baltimore's not the best defense in the league, I set myself up for a week 1. I've got a great matchup, and now I'm ready to go because I streamed it. And this is what you have to do. You have to put in a little bit of that work, like Skadger's saying, a couple weeks in advance maybe or so. Try to figure out, okay, maybe they got a 3-stretch game where I could stream them. It'd be kind of juicy. So let's try to find this defense and then pull them early before people realize it. Because if you're not at the bottom of the waiver wire, you're not going to get them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to probably title this the defense stream strategy or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so if you guys enjoyed that, let us know. If you want more like kind of tips and tricks, kind of the ins and outs, like I guess lesser known tricks other than, drafting a wide receiver or being that heavy, let us know. I'm sure Matt has some other good tips. But yeah, this is Rethink Reality. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you report and don't support.
Report, don't support, baby.
Make sure you listen because I'm trying to jump off the balcony tonight.
Dang, boy, we're gonna be hearing the fray. Golly, sheesh. So, take us out of here, Scotty. Send us away, baby. Send us away.